The country of Jordan is about 300 miles from the Gaza Strip, but today in the Oval Office, Jordan's leader, King Abdullah, was right in the middle of the Gaza Strip's future. President Trump reiterated that the U.S. will, as he hopes, take over the territory. The Palestinians aren't coming back, and the countries in the region will foot the bill for the whole operation. CBS's senior White House and political correspondent Weijia Jiang has been following the developments. Weijia, you were in the room, and we can see that snow that Lonnie Quinn was talking about earlier is pelting down on the White House. How did King Abdullah react in the room to President Trump when he talked about this plan to take over the Gaza Strip?
Well, John, inside the Oval Office, both King Abdullah and President Trump were practicing the art of diplomacy, really not being direct with one another in the views that they have previously expressed. So the king was asked very directly whether he agrees with Trump's plan, and he said, well, I have to consult with Egypt and other allies in the region. But after the meeting, John, he issued a statement being very clear, and he said, I reiterated Jordan's steadfast position against the displacement of Palestinians in Gaza and the West Bank. This is a unified Arab position. And he went on to say that rebuilding Gaza without displacing the 2 million people who live there right now should be the priority for everybody. Of course, that is not exactly how Trump sees it, John.
Yeah, how do they see it at the White House? You know, and obviously there's so many layers to this, but what are you hearing from them at the White House about this meeting and about this plan of the president's?
Well, the White House says that the president was very explicit with the King of Jordan. We don't know exactly what that means, whether he actually put threatening aid on the table, even though in the Oval Office, of course, next to King Abdullah, he said, I don't think we're going to have to get there. But, John, take a listen to this remarkable answer from the president himself when he was asked what power he has for the U.S. to take over a sovereign territory.
With the United States being in control of that piece of land, a fairly large piece of land, you're going to have stability in the Middle East for the first time. And the Palestinians, or the people that live now in Gaza, will be living beautifully in another location.
So, John, he was asked, what power do you have? And he answered, U.S. power. But, of course, that's not the way it works. And he would be violating international law that, you know, if he were to even try to take control of Gaza, as he said.
Very briefly, Weijia, the president also said he wants Hamas to turn over all hostages to Israel by 12 o'clock on Saturday. Do they expect Hamas to buckle, or is this just giving the green light to Israel to take more military action?
John, President Trump himself answered this, and he said, I don't expect much happening with these people, but we'll see what happens. So obviously he's setting very low expectations for that hostage exchange to happen. It's also notable, John, that today Prime Minister Netanyahu reiterated what Trump said in a video message. He said that if the hostages were not returned by noon on Saturday, that Israel would resume, quote, intense fighting.